What is up everyone, my name is Jasper and in today's video it is time to look back at November 2022 and see just how much my sites have made me. Now November is always an exciting time because to me it is really the start of the Q4 ad earnings because, well, October is part of the fourth quarter. The RPMs typically don't tend to ramp up until November, and especially during Black Friday and even Cyber Monday, November in its entirety is just a month where things tend to go up. And that's definitely been the case for my sites as well. My entire portfolio is up, I believe, except for the seasonal sites such as the Dutch boating website and of course the accessory site. It has now stabilized, but at the beginning of November, this site was still slightly dropping in rankings. Other than that, all of my sites are actually growing, and of course when you pair that with the higher RPMs, November has been a pretty solid month. So without further ado, let's just jump into the numbers and see just how much all of my sites have made me in November 2022. Now we always start with the Dutch beauty site because this is my oldest website and this site has always had a pretty rough history. I mean, I started one back in December 2018 and it grew really steadily, just as you would expect from any website, for 2 years. And then somewhere at the start of December 2020, this site just dropped off. I mean, I lost about 80% of my traffic and it never really recovered. But then a few months ago, things started to be even more rocky because I dropped another 80% and then it rebounded, and that happened once again. But I'm glad to say that in November, this site has reached an all-time high in both traffic and earnings. Now for traffic, the site did just over 43,000 page views. And as you can see, this site had a pretty big spike during Black Friday. Now this is something I always see. Black Friday is always my best performing day. Back in November of 2020, when the site was still at its peak, I had about 10,000 page views on Black Friday alone. Nowadays the numbers are a bit lower, but you can still see the impact of a day such as Black Friday. Other than that, I mean, the traffic is now jumped back to around the 1,000 or 1,100 page views a day, which is very, very solid. Now this site is monetized with Amazon Associates and then AdThrive ads. And for AdThrive ads, I have both display ads and video ads. Now the display ads are always the main earner, and in this month alone it made me just over $850, which is the highest this has been for the entirety of 2022 for this website. So that has been a fantastic site. But video ads have also been performing incredibly well. I made a little over $160 with just the video ads, and these video ads are so simple to set up. So where this site for the most part of the year didn't even make more than $1,000 a month, this month it made more than that with just the ad side of things. And then on top of that, we also have the Amazon stores, and of course with Black Friday, the numbers can be a little bit higher. And it's a recurring trend in all of these stores that I have. I have a German store, a US store and a UK store, and for all the stores you can see a spike during Black Friday. Now with the Amazon US store, which is always the main earner, I made $194. Then with the Amazon UK store, I made a little over £40, and then with the Amazon Germany store, I made a little over €12. I then also made about $10 with a niche specific affiliate program, which is of course nice to see, but it doesn't really add to the total amount. But speaking of a total amount, this site alone made me over $1,275 in November of 2022. And as I said, that is an all-time high for this site for this entire year. Now I still don't really have any plans to expand the site or work on it again or try to revive it. I do still want to try it, but I just don't have the time for it, and I'm not really sure if it's going to be worth my effort. But seeing that the site is still providing over $1,000 every single month very consistently is such a fantastic site. But then for the site that is a little less positive, which is of course the accessory site. Now this site has been the main focus for the better part of this year, and this site grew really nicely for like the first half of the year, and after that it has just been hammered by literally every single update that has dropped. Now I did see that Google today announced the December helpful content update, so let's see what that will do. But for now, literally every update since May 2022 has hit the site in one way or another, and it is now a former shell of itself. And you can really see that in the traffic. So where this site in May did just shy of 40,000 page views a month, we're currently sitting at just over 8,000 page views a month, which is such a huge drop off. And for no apparent reason, because no one that I talked to has any clue why this site dropped as much as it did. But it did happen, and there's really nothing I can do about it other than to try and improve the site. And I'm really doing that by adding new content and improving on what's already there. Now this site, it is monetized, and it's monetized with Ezoic Premium. I was just at the doorstep of reaching Mediavine level traffic, so that is a bit of a bummer. But for now, Ezoic Premium has been performing pretty well for me. So in total, this site made just under $160 for the entirety of November 2022. And all of that is purely coming from Ezoic Premium ads. Now for the future plans for this site, as I said, it's still the main focus for this year at least, and probably in the future as well. But yeah, really, what else can I say other than that I'm just going to work on more content, improving what's already there, and maybe I'm going to do a sort of case study where I'm going to take the top performing articles, put them on a brand new domain and see what happens, because I think that Google maybe has this domain on a sort of list or something, just as with the beauty site, where it just can't really get back to its former levels. I'm not really sure. It's worth a try, and let's just see what happens. But now for a site that is performing a lot better than I expected it to, and this is the home site or the case study site. It's the same site, and I have a playlist on the channel where I've been following the progression of this site. But currently it is growing really nicely. So last month we did just over 9,400 page views in a month, and this month we already reached the 15,000 page views a month mark. So we grew with about 75% in traffic month over month, and that is just an amazing site. Now I say that I didn't really expect it because this site has once again had a pretty rough start. For the first 3 months nothing got indexed, so for the first 3 months the site was just dead in the water, nothing happened. And then things finally started to roll along. But it was slow, it was really slow, but currently things are going really well, and I think we're finally getting out of the sandbox. Now with that said, we have been in a sandbox for about 12 months now, but if you take away the 3 months that we weren't indexed, then it took about 9 months for this site to get started, and that is a lot better than the accessory site, for example, which took about 12 or 13 months, I believe. So after 9 months, this site is currently sitting at around 15,000 pages a month, and to me that is insane to see. It kind of gives me the hope that I still can do this, because that's something I've been struggling with a lot lately. So this site really shows me that I'm still capable of doing this. But yeah, I do need to keep up this trend and see where this one will go. Now as for income, I did finally monetize this site last month. So November is the first full month where this site is monetized. And once again, it's only monetized with Ezoic Premium. That said, this site made just under $208, and to me that is really good to see. The RPM is a little bit lower than for the accessory site, for example, but it's a lot higher than what I see for the beauty site. So this is a nice middle ground. It's still a very respectable RPM. I will make sure to put it on the screen because I don't know the exact number right now. But yeah, overall I'm super happy with where this site is going, and I can't wait to see where we're headed in the future. Now lastly, I also own 2 Dutch sites, and these sites they're mainly just there, they exist, but I don't really work on them at all actually. And one of them is a Dutch version of my English beauty site. So it's literally just the same niche. The topics aren't exactly translated. I did rewrite them, but it's the exact same niche, just in Dutch. Now just as with the English beauty site, this site is also seeing an increase during Black Friday and November in general, and December also, by the way. So this site, it did pull in much greater page view numbers than it typically does. That being said, it's still just over only 4,000 page views a month, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for this website. Once again, there's only like 22 articles on here. It's really small. It hasn't been worked on for like 2.5, maybe even 3 years. So whatever this site does, I just take as a bonus. And I'm really just happy to see that this one, despite being really old and not updated at all, it still brings in a few bucks here and there, and it allows me to fund an extra article every single month. That being said, November has been the all-time high for this site as well, also for traffic, but also for income. So I made just shy of $50 with Ezoic Premium, and I have to say, I never expected to get this site to $50 a month. It just felt unreal. This site typically did between 15, maybe 25 if I was very lucky. This time it was 50 a month. This isn't going to be the norm from here on out, but it's nice to see, of course. And then there is the Dutch boating site, and this is a super seasonal site. This site is currently in the off season because boating is something you do in the summer and not during the winter. So this site, it is going down, and I mean, I know to expect it, but it still sucks to see, of course. But it seems that this time around the site is dropping more than it used to do. And I think that once again it has to do with the fact that this site has also not been updated in like maybe 2.5 years. That being said, this site brought in a total of 1,600 page views, which really isn't a lot, and it made just shy of $14, which once again really isn't a lot, but I mean, I'll take it. It's once again an extra, it's a bonus. The site is there, there's no point in shutting it down. It runs profitable, so yeah, I do want to include it in the income report because it is part of my portfolio. So the portfolio in its entirety made a total of around $1,700, and to me $1,700 is really solid. It's the most my portfolio made this entire year, and of course that's a great feeling, but it's also sort of it also just gives me the confidence that these sites do still work. I mean, I still make shy of $2,000 a month with sites that I would consider failed projects. So to see the fact that failed projects can still make me this much money, it is really good to see. And I honestly cannot wait to see what happens if we finally get a site off the ground and have it not get hit by literally every single update. But with that being said, I do also share my other sources of income, so let's just dive into those. So first off is my dividend income. I do a lot of dividend investing because I'm just really enjoying it for some reason. I really like seeing the dividends come in every single month and then reinvesting it in the businesses and just see that grow. So I made a total of $33.09 from these companies right here. And although I'm not really reinvesting any of my own money anymore because the income has just been lower, I do still plan on growing this to be much larger than it currently is. I'm also, of course, reinvesting every single dividend that I earn back into these companies. So yeah, this is a really slow but really exciting journey to me. But then for the YouTube side of things. So last month I had a really solid month where I made over $2,000 with just YouTube alone. This month it was around $500, which is still really, really nice. Now, I make these videos mostly for fun because I really enjoy just following my process and just having people to share my journey with. However, over the last couple of months, as you may have noticed, I have been publishing less and less videos. So I typically upload every Thursday of the week, but I'm now somewhat skipping a few Thursdays here and there because, yeah, in all honesty, I'm kind of burned out on the whole blogging thing because things just haven't been going well, and I've been thinking of switching over to something else. Now, this is probably something for next year, but yeah, I haven't been publishing as much, and that really shines through in the YouTube AdSense income. So I used to make around $150 to around $200 a month with AdSense. This month it was only $61, and yeah, you can really see the difference right there. But since we're in November and Black Friday is in November, I did make a lot of commissions which really add up to the total amount. Now I'll put some on the screen right now, but I'm not going to go into every single company. But I did make a lot of extra commissions, and the total amount for YouTube income was just shy of $500. Now I didn't do any freelance work this time around, so there isn't an extra income on that side of things. But overall, this has been a very solid month. Because I would honestly say that November is what most of my months would look like. It's the majority of the income is coming from the portfolio side of things, a little bit extra from the YouTube side of things. But all of this is working on my own businesses and my own plans and dreams. And with freelance work, I mean, it's nice to have an extra $1,000, but I'm working for someone else. And yeah, just working on the sites and the YouTube and making around $2,300 is just as fulfilling to me as making $4,000 like last month, but spending the majority of my time working for someone else. Now, of course, I do have the aspirations to grow this larger and honestly see it as big as I can go. But to see that this month has been very solid, at least for me, with just working on myself, I mean, I'm really happy with November. Let's just leave it at that. I really want to thank all of you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.